Welcome back to Morning Joy, where truth matters. I'm Keith Downey, your host, and today we have the privilege of speaking with Kramer Soderberg, a passionate Catholic speaker, author, and basketball coach. Kramer, good morning, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Keith. Thanks for having me. Can you hear me all right?
Loud and clear. Thank you
Beautiful.
so much for joining us. Yeah, so for those who might be unfamiliar with you and your work, maybe you tell us a little bit about you and your background.
Yeah. So I'm the head men's basketball coach at Millikan University in Decatur, Illinois. It's a Division III school right in central Illinois, the heart of the Midwest. And I'm a husband of 5 and been married for 11 years now. And I happened to write a book about my Catholic faith and my journey. And then I got into kind of the Instagram world, and that kind of grew and went to a place where I didn't expect it to. And then, I've had opportunities to speak about my faith and motivate other Catholics to grow in their faith. And it's just been a wonderful joy and a blessing. So I'm absolutely happy to be here.
That's awesome. Yeah, you mentioned Center Illinois. We happen to be live on Catholic Spirit Radio, which I'm sure you're familiar with out there in Central Illinois. That's so cool. Okay. One of the things that you often speak on is filling your cup for Christ. So what do you think are some of the biggest obstacles that may prevent people from feeling spiritually fulfilled, and how can they overcome some of those challenges?
Yeah, so it's interesting. My book, Fill Your Cup for Christ, the title of the book and the message of that statement came from my dad, who's also a basketball coach. And when I was in 5th or 6th grade, he held a camp and kind of did a little talk for all the campers. And what he did is he brought out 3 different sized cups and kind of described each of those cups as a player. And one was really big, like a 64-ounce guzzler. One was a 12-ounce drinking glass, and one was a little small Dixie cup. And the point of his talk was, I don't care how much potential you have. I care how much you get out of the potential you've been given, how much you fill your cup. So on the ride home, my dad said, Kramer, just so you know, you're the small cup. And he said, I don't care that you're the small cup. I want you to fill your cup to the top. You can't control how much potential as a basketball player God has given you, but you can control how much water you put into your cup. And he said, at the end of your career, if you fill your cup to the top, you're a success, whether you achieve all the goals you want to achieve or not. So the message of that story that I only came to realize a little bit later was, it's not just about basketball. It's about life. And we are called by God to fill our cups to the top for him in every aspect of our life, whether that be, a sport that we're playing, whether that be the vocation that we're in as far as our profession, as husbands, as fathers, as mothers, as daughters, and then most especially as Catholics, we're called to fill our cups to the top for Christ. And it's a great challenge, most certainly. And I'd say a lot of us fill our cups to the top in our profession just because there's things that we can receive from doing that. But I think a lot of us fall short in a spiritual perspective, where we don't fill our cups to the top from a Catholic perspective in our spiritual lives. And I think that's the challenge. And daily, if you wake up with that mindset of everything I do, my job, my vocation as a husband, as a father, as a mother, as a wife, as a Catholic, I'm going to do everything to glorify the Lord and try to get the most out of the potential he's given me, whether it's a lot of potential or a little potential, irrelevant. Fill your cup to the top so that at the end of your life, your water is overflowing for the Lord.
Wow, it's almost so countercultural in a way. To talk about that in that manner, because it's always like, oh, we compare ourselves to other people. Yep. I want that cup. I want to be that cup. I'm going to be that cup. It's the American way.
For sure. And the world tells us that you are not a success unless you make a lot of money, have a big house, fancy car, pretty girlfriend. You are not a success. But that is just not true. You are a success if you fill your cup to the top for the Lord. And it is, in my opinion, a great way to approach life. It takes away all the pressure of, I got to get this promotion. I got to make this amount of money. No, you don't. All you have to do is be the best person that you can be. You have to be all that God created you to be. Small cup, medium cup, big cup, irrelevant. be who God made you to be as best as you can be it.
Wow. You mentioned your father came up with this almost like this talk about the cups. Do you do this with your players when you're coaching? Have you done that?
Yeah. Yeah. So my program is centered around first 5 pillars: humility, passion, unity, servanthood, and thankfulness. And then our goal every year is fill your cup. We never have a tangible goal of win a championship or win a national championship or 20 games or whatever. Our goal every year is fill your cup. So every time our kids walk in the classroom, every weight room session, every practice, every game, fill your cup to the top. And if my guys can come to me at the end of the year and say, Coach, I filled my cup to the top for you, for this team, for my teammates, myself, I'll say we're a success, whether we win 2 games or 20. And I want my players, when they walk away from my program, to remember that. And if they can take one message away that I'm trying to teach them, and it's far more than basketball, if they can take fill your cup away and, again, fill their cup to the top as a professional when they get their first job, as a husband and a father when they do that, and then hopefully as Christian men, that's most important to me.
So you mentioned you're a husband and father of 5, and me, a husband and father as well. I'm curious to know how do you bring this topic of conversation to your children? How do you help make them understand, like, hey, this is your cup you've been given? Like, how do you go about that?
Yeah. I think my kids are still a little younger, but I have always learned and always taught through sports. My kids happen to be similar to me in that they all love and are kind of driven by sports right now in their life. And I think sports are a teacher of life, far more than just, the actual sport. And right now they're playing baseball and basketball and doing football. And I think learning that, yeah, of course you're trying to win the game, but most importantly to me, I want you to go out there and have as much fun as you can. And I want you to do your very best you can. And then whatever the outcome is okay. As long as you do those 2 things, have fun and play your butt off, you're a success in my eyes. And I think learning that early on and through sports, I think it teaches it pretty special to kids. And then, of course, later on as they mature and grow, they're going to have to hear the other talks of, okay, now you're becoming a husband or a father. How are you going to grow in your Catholic faith and become the best you can be in that aspect? Those are things that, need to be talked about. But right now they're learning those little lessons through sports, and I think it's really good.
That's awesome. And you as a father, you're able to essentially show them how to do it. So that's really great. What role would you say prayer plays in filling your cup and maintaining like a really strong relationship with Christ?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, our prayer life is astronomical for us growing as Christians. And I think prayer is vital for rejuvenation of the desire to do it. It is hard to wake up every morning and do all you can do to fill your cup to the top. It takes a lot out of you. There's mornings where you wake up and you just want to stay in bed, or you don't want to give your all to your wife or your kids, or, after a long day at work, when I'm driving home and I know the kids are going to be, Dad, play with me, do all these things. It takes a lot out of you. And if you don't center your life on prayer and get the strength from the Lord to do it, it's not going to happen. And all this, everything we do, as we know, it's all grace. It's all grace. The desire to want to fill your cup and the ability to do it is all grace. And if we're not asking for the grace to do it, it most certainly is not going to happen. So the prayer life for me is huge. I try to start my day with prayer, try to go to daily mass as often as I can. I pray the rosary daily, and doing those things have changed my life and allowed me to be a better husband and father and fill my cup to the top every day.
That's so true. Like anytime that I'm able to make daily mass or confession really consistently, I'm a better husband and a better father. It's funny how that all works. Interesting,
Yeah. It's absolutely right. Absolutely.
And so you mentioned you're on Instagram. So in today's like digital age, obviously, we're all on our technology, we're all on our phones. But how would you say people can use this technology to enhance their spiritual lives, instead of letting it be a distraction?
Yeah, you gotta be very disciplined, in my opinion. And I fall into the trap, as I'm sure all we do, is just, the doom scrolling where you just get lost in it. But just like anything, there are evils to it that we have to protect ourselves from, most certainly. But there is so much good that I've seen, just starting this, Instagram ministry or whatever. Like, I had no idea of where it was going to go. I was just trying to promote my book a little bit, and it took off. And yet there's so many, yourself, and there's so many great people putting out just phenomenal Catholic information, and it's helped me grow as a Catholic, and then connecting with other Catholics and realizing you're not alone in this world, that there's a lot of other people that are like you, that are striving to become holy, striving to become saints, and that there truly is a community, a body of Christ that is there to support each other. And I think that's what's good. But of course, there's evils with it, and you have to protect yourself from it. And I think putting your phone away is good, especially when you're with your kids, and finding just maybe specific times to do it is good. But I've really been pleased with how it all has worked.
That's great advice. Being intentional.
For sure.
With a lot of things, especially with our technology, because we can certainly, like you said, get lost in the doom scroll, which is not good for anybody. So you mentioned your book, Fill Your Cup for Christ. I'm assuming we can get that pretty much. You can essentially get that anywhere from like Amazon stores and all that.
Yep. Yeah, it's on Amazon. It was a self-published book, so really it's Amazon, or you can, go to my website, kramersoderberg.com, or you can contact me on Instagram, a Catholic coach, and I can get you those. But yeah, I'm still waiting for a publisher to reach out to me and say they like it. So it's a waiting game for sure. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but it's been so fruitful. It's an easy read. I'm by no means a smart author. I was a C+ English student, so short chapters. It's good for all ages. And it's got a little sports background, so I think it can motivate you and, encourage you to strive hard to fill your cup to the top.
Well, I certainly feel motivated today, Coach. Thank you so much for joining us, Kramer, on Morning Joy. Really appreciate you.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And that is it for Morning Joy, where truth matters. Well, now, of course, we have the After Show Clubhouse. So if you're able to join us on any of our social medias, you can do so. Just search Morning Joy Radio or GRN online, as that's who produces this incredible morning show, this production, we like to call it. Like I said, it's a great way to connect with you, because we debrief from the show. We do all sorts of things. It's fun. It's a great way to start your morning, or as you ease into your morning, really. You might be in the office. You might be dropping your kids off at work. I don't know. At work, I did it again. Drop your kids at work. At school, you don't work. But if this is us parting ways, God bless, and make it a joyful day.
This has been Morning Joy, where truth matters, hosted by Keith Downey. Take some joy with you today. Visit grnonline.com/joy to listen again, share a segment, or answer the question of the day. That's grnonline.com/joy.